ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930 present The Drive.
It is Tuesday, June 23rd. Your drive begins now on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. I'm your host, Paul Swann. Our text line this hour is brought to you by Clark's Pump and Shop. We're going to do that at 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Open text lines for the show today. Coming up tomorrow on the program, we're going to hear from Ryan Chris. We got a lot to get into with Ryan tomorrow, and I'll start there. I don't know if you've seen the release yet or you've seen some of the pictures on social media. There's going to be a new space, and we pretty much already knew about this. If you follow along, I know there's a lot of you that actually follow along with the Board of Governors meetings, and some of you have, been poring over the minutes to kind of get the latest, kind of figure out what you can figure out about Marshall football or Marshall sports. And the official release comes out today. It's called The Porch. It's Marshall's, according to the release, Marshall's newest premium experience, which brings the tailgate inside the Jones. So we're not calling this the party deck anymore. We're calling this The Porch. And it's going to be in the south end zone. Here's what you get. There's not that many of these things, and I don't have a price. We'll get with Ryan Chris tomorrow. We'll see if we can get a price for this. But each porch suite is going to have 20 football season tickets. You're going to get a private covered gazebo structure. You're going to get an outdoor propane gas griddle. You're going to get refrigerator and ice service. You're going to get outdoor patio-style seating and dining furniture, my mistake. Patio heater for cooler game days. So basically, hey, look, it's cold out here. Do we really want to be here? Yeah, we got a heater. We're good. We're good for you. And you get premium views of the field and game day atmosphere. And here's the interesting part on the release. And again, a lot of this is going to be Ryan Chris tomorrow when we talk to him. And he's going to expand on this for sure. We're just going to speculate today. But the release says you're in charge of the menu. You get to fire up the griddle, stock the fridge, and bring whatever your crew loves most. Burgers, brats, wings, your call, your recipes, your game day spread. No concession stand. No waiting in line, just great food, great drinks, and a front row seat to cheer on the herd. That's from the release. So what do you think? There's only 4 of these. There are only 4. So you got to contact Herd Hospitality. I'm going to be curious what this is going to look like, because I don't know if the pictures do it justice online. Those are renderings, not really the real thing. What do you think about this? Is this the direction you were hoping Marshall would go with the end zone? 4 spaces, 4 suites that are basically a covered gazebo. You bring your own food. There's gonna be a special checkpoint for this. Like, hey, okay, this is the porch entrance. Bringing in some catfish. Yeah, we're gonna do that. We're gonna bring in some hamburgers, some wings. Am I getting an invite from you? If you get one of these suites, just let me know. Texter says, Paul, the porch is an interesting idea, depending on how much more expensive it is than regular end zone tickets. The article reads like you had to bring your own food and drink. If I'm dropping serious coin, I want food and drink provided. That's an interesting thought. I appreciate the text on that. If you're dropping serious coin, you want someone there grilling for you, right? You want somebody that's got the food there. Depending what the cost is on this, I've got a feeling that food's expensive. And so Marshall's providing the space, Marshall's providing the grill, Marshall's providing the heat when needed, Marshall's providing basically, hey, we got a tailgate. This is an in-the-stadium tailgate spot, is what that sounds like to me. You're going to get an opportunity to tailgate, have your crew out there. It's not the party deck. It's not what was promised a few years ago in a previous administration, which now is not valid. I thought we were going to see sort of like an end zone complex eventually. This is a different concept. You're basically taking the space you have instead of building a new structure or taking the existing seats that are left down, instead of doing all that and building up and creating a new structure with a little bit more of luxury suites and different facilities, restrooms, all of that, all of those additions you could possibly do if you take those remaining seats down when it's feasible. You're using the existing space you have, and you're going to create this in the stadium tailgate area is the pitch for me. I'm curious what it's going to look like. I don't know if the pictures do it justice, to be quite honest with you. Texter says, Paul, those pictures are AI. Are they? I hadn't really looked at them that closely. Are they AI? Well, I'm hopefully we're going to see some actual, renderings of what this will look like. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what that's going to look like in all actuality. Is it going to be these wooden gazebos? What's it going to look like? Is this the vibe we're going for in the end zone, just to have some wooden gazebos? Is this going to be an area in which I couldn't wander over and maybe steal some of your steak? Is that what we're looking at here with this? And again, you get the patio style furniture, the heater, the ice service. You get ice service. Does that mean, because there's no concession, so you got to bring your own drink in, right? Am I understanding that correctly? So basically, you get a fridge. You get to pick what you want because you're bringing it. We're just giving you an in the stadium tailgate section for 4 groups of 20. So we got 80 people that are going to be hanging out in the end zone on any given game day, and you're going to get all of the things you need to hook up for your tailgate. But you got to bring your own beverages. Is that feasible? There's got to be some more detail to that, and I'm going to talk to Ryan Crisp tomorrow. And the good news is Ryan's going to break it down for us so we can understand it. But again, as I admitted to, we're speculating today. We're talking about this concept. Is it something that just based off the release alone, based off what you might have seen or heard, is this something that interests you as an upgrade if you're a Thundering Herd fan? If you're somebody that thinks this is the experience I've been waiting for, this is where I want to be on game day, it's different than the deck. The deck's completely a different experience. Were you thinking that maybe you would get a similar experience, a different type of deck experience on the south end zone with a different facility? Back to the text line. Texter says, Paul, do I need to know 19 other people who want to do it? Coordinating food and drink with strangers feels complicated. Yeah, this is the thing. I appreciate that text. This is what you get. Each porch suite includes 20 football season tickets. So I'm assuming since there are only 4 of these, they're not split. Again, that's an assumption, but just based off the way this reads, it's not split. I don't believe that, well, we're going to do 10 because, hey, what if I want hamburgers and somebody else wants hot dogs? We got to fight for the grill. Why can't we do both? Obviously. And you're grilling. I don't think there's not going to be a professional griller back there. You're grilling. You're in charge of the menu. So for less stress in your life, it's probably going to be 4 groups of 20 because that's what you get. 20 tickets. You get the gazebo. You get the access to the grill. You get the access to the refrigerator and ice service. So it sounds like you're going to be stocking the fridge and you're going to be doing all that. So really, you show up with your stuff and you come in the stadium. And so the logistics on this are not exactly spelled out just yet, but why would it be? If I'm not buying one of these spots, why do I need to know all the details as a customer? That's why you call Emily. You call Emily Suter over at Herd Hospitality. Give her a call. Of course, Ryan's going to be talking to us tomorrow. Emily's number, and we'll try to get Emily back on as well. She's really a great person to talk to. If you've never met her, she's 100% committed to this job. 434-473-4027. That's Emily Suter with the Herd Hospitality Organization. She's going to be probably who you need to call to get the details and to sign up for this thing. And if you call her and you buy it, tell her, hey, by the way, Paul Swann, Paul should get a cut of that commission. Paul should get a finder's fee. Texter says, Paul, hey, Paul, the porch sounds nice, but only 4 groups of 20 is what it sounds like. So the upper echelon of money is the only people who will get to see it. Appreciate the text. It depends on what the price is, to be fair. I don't think I could swing this. If I was looking at, okay, how do I upgrade my experience at Jones C. Edwards Stadium? Just off the description of this, I don't think I could honestly, I could afford this. Now, university needs to find different price points for everyone. There's got to be different price points so everyone can come to a Marshall football game. And with those different price points, you get different amenities. Could I swing a spot on the deck? Maybe. It would be a little costly for me, but maybe I could swing a spot on the deck if I was just going and I wanted that experience. Maybe if it's just me or whatever the minimum is, maybe I could swing that. I don't know. But that's probably not the experience I'm going for based off of my budget. I'm going to look at the season ticket option, or I'm going to look at the mini pack option, or I'm going to look at single game tickets. Just got to be smart about what my price point is. And so Marshall's going to try to cater to me, to find a price point that works for me with the offering so I can come to a Marshall football game. Maybe I'm not going to sit in the closest seats. Maybe I'm going to be basically, at the 10 or 20 yard line. Who knows? I'm going to be sitting a little higher. Who knows? But I'm curious what the price point is if Marshall is able to reveal that to us when we talk to Ryan Crisp tomorrow. And again, it's perfect. It's perfect timing. This comes out today. Ryan will be with us tomorrow, and we'll go over all of these points. But if you've got questions, I'm just going to go ahead and load it up now for tomorrow. Send those in to me, and we'll talk about them on the air today, and we'll have those questions for him tomorrow. 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. I'm curious as well, is this what you expected Marshall to do? Because remember, we're talking about a different athletic director now, and he's got to deal with the realities of what he's got, what he can do in the short term, and look to the long term as well. And Gerald Harrison, athletic director, A.D. Harrison never came out and said, oh, we're going to build the biggest scoreboard in the end zone. We're going to have a party deck over there. He didn't come out with that. So the expectations are a little different now with a new athletic director. But is this what you had in your mind when you were thinking, what could happen with that space in the south end zone? What could happen with that space to create a different atmosphere? And so are the 4 porch zones, the tailgating inside the stadium, is that going to enhance the atmosphere at Jones C. Edwards Stadium? Is that going to create a space where people can have a different experience inside the stadium? And again, you don't have any available suites. The suites are all up. You're not getting one of those anytime soon. The solution to the shortage of suites, build more suites. I don't know if that's happening anytime soon, expanding the press box. Is there enough demand to justify the expansion in a costly manner, or affordable manner? In an affordable manner. Can you do that? And again, I don't have access to the books. I'm not in the planning meetings. And so everything I'm saying is just off the cuff right now. I'm sure a guy like Andrew Brown, for example, those guys could probably spell that out for me a little bit better. But we'll leave the actual logistics and what is the plan to Ryan tomorrow. But if you've got questions, 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Texter writes in and says, Paul, did you really look at the pictures? One lady has 3 arms. Appreciate the text. Now I got to go back and look. Does she really have, you're making that up. Does she really have 3 arms? Is that really the photo? All right, I should have verified that before I read that. All right, text line's 304-396-TALK. 3 arms, really? Well, maybe you need 3 arms. One for your drink, one for the hamburger, one for the hot dog. I mean, I would like to have 3 arms too. I can manipulate a little bit more. More coming up on this edition of Your Drive, ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
This is Huntington Mayor Patrick Farrell. The best part of any city isn't the buildings, it's the people. It's neighborhoods spending time together, families making memories, friends reconnecting on a summer evening. That's what Dog Dazzle is all about. Join us July 3rd at Harris Riverfront Park. Celebrate America's birthday with food, music, community, and fireworks over the Ohio River. Because the best cities are built when people come together. Come celebrate America's birthday with us.
Feeling ready for a change? The Women Warrior Summit returns Friday, October 23rd in Huntington, West Virginia. This year, we'll explore the power of reinvention with stories about growth, change, and beginning again. Visit WomenWarriorSummit.com to learn more.
This summer, celebrate America's 250th anniversary across Cabell County. Beginning June 15th, pop into the Marshall Visual Arts Center for Legend Has It, a look at textile arts throughout time. July 2nd and 3rd, experience 1776, featuring the Huntington Symphony Orchestra and special guests Michael and Todd Cerverus at the Keith Albee Theater. Plus Dog Dazzle with Kathy Mattea and fireworks at Harris Riverfront Park on July 3rd. This celebration is made possible by our sponsors, the Huntington Foundation and Arthur and Joan Weisberg Family Foundation, Burke and Herbert Bank, Marshall Health Network, Cabell County Commission, the Herald Dispatch, Truist Foundation, Village of Barbersville, Little Caesars, Neighborgall Construction, Greater Huntington CVB, Service Wire, J.H. Fletcher and Company, Dutch Miller Auto Group, Silling Architects, Permco, Huntington Drum and Container, Jim's Steak and Spaghetti House, WSAZ, and Kindred Communications. See the full schedule now at cabellcounty.org/America250.
A celebration 250 years in the making. It's Dog Dazzle 2026. Friday, July 3rd at Harris Riverfront Park. Dog Dazzle 2026 featuring West Virginia legend Kathy Mattea.
18 wheels and a dozen roses.
Plus, special guests Ben Whiskey and Brett Mahon with the Tri-State's largest fireworks. Gates open at 5 p.m. Enjoy inflatables, ice-cold drinks from the Smokin' Jay's beer tents, food trucks, fun and family all night long. Dog Dazzle with Kathy Mattea. Get to 937thedog.com for free ticket locations. America 250. Dog Dazzle 2026. Bark on with Kathy Mattea. Friday, July 3rd. Get to Jerks at Pullman Square for the official after-show party. Dog Dazzle 2026. Presented by Gomart, Austin's Homemade Ice Cream, K&B Pest Control, Michelob Ultra, White Claw, Busch Light, the City of Huntington, the Cabell County Commission, Little Caesars, Gomart, Great Outdoors Marine, Thoroughbred Express Wash, Blinko Glass Company, Wendy's, Tudor's Biscuit World, West Virginia Appalachian Laborers District Council, Xfinity, Miller Lite, Coors Light, Twisted Tea, Incova, Kendrick Communications, and 93.7 The Dog.
Psst, yeah, you, it's me, your heart. Listen to me. We've got to talk. High blood pressure is serious, and yours? Whoa. What happened to us? We used to be so much more active, but lately you've been ignoring me. I know you think I'm just gonna keep ticking away forever, but you're wrong. You can do so much more to control your high blood pressure. Doing the minimum isn't doing enough. I'm under a lot of pressure and can quit whenever I want. Bet you didn't know that. But I like my job. Just treat me better. Check on me. Give me something green to nibble on every once in a while. And maybe we can do some exercise on occasion. Let's get to it. After all, we're in this together.
Listen to your heart. Don't let it quit on you. High blood pressure can lead to a stroke, heart attack, or death. Get your blood pressure to a healthy range before it's too late. Find out how at heart.org/blood pressure. Check, change, control. A message from the American Heart Association, the American Stroke Association, and the Ad Council.
You saved my life. You held my hand when I was scared. You helped me say goodbye to my dad. You were an example for me. You gave me strength when I thought I had none left. I couldn't tell you then, but I want to say thank you, all of you, for everything. Thank you to the physicians, nurses, and others working in America's hospitals and health systems. A message from the American Hospital Association, American Medical Association, and American Nurses Association.
Come alive with the forest. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
You're listening to The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
We continue with this Tuesday edition of Your Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Our text line is 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. I'm taking your questions for tomorrow, and we're going to answer them, hopefully, as best we can for Ryan Crisp. Of course, Thundering Herd making the announcement today. It's official. We knew it was coming out. But the new premium space, I'm assuming it's premium space. It's called The Porch. It's another option. You get a premium suite. You get the atmosphere of a backyard tailgate is kind of the pitch here. And so we're going to ask Ryan Crisp a lot of questions tomorrow about this. But Texter says, Paul, this is a good question. I will ask this tomorrow, but this is a good question. I want to put this one out here today. Texter says, Is the athletic department concerned that the family price concession stand will attract people from the entire east side of the stadium, creating too long of lines? Why not just have that pricing at every concession stand, since schools like Coastal Carolina have free items at their game? It's a good question. I don't know what the logistics are going to look like, what the pricing is going to look like for the Thundering Herd. Of course, I think part of the difference here is I don't believe that you necessarily have to bribe Marshall fans to come. That's just my feeling there. You don't have to bribe Marshall fans. Marshall fans are going to come. I don't know if giving out a free hot dog, and you tell me, if, like, say, a free hot dog, a small, in Marshall's case, Pepsi, and maybe some popcorn, is that going to make the game a little bit more attractive to me? And again, I'll get the clarification, who can benefit from that particular area, what are the limitations going to be? Will that expand if it's successful? Can it expand? And that's going to be, I think, really the big question is, how do you prevent everybody just rushing over to one section? Like, hey, let's go get take the kids. Let's go get these. I mean, I hit the Dollar Dog concession stand, or I used to when I would go to baseball games. I wasn't looking for a feast. I just go hit the Dollar Dog stand at the baseball game. Put my own ketchup, because I can do that. I can put my own ketchup and mustard on it, and I'm all good. It takes the gnaw off. I'm not spending that much at the ball game. If I'm going to eat, I'll eat something before the game. I'll eat something after the game. It's easy if you're planning for yourself or just someone else with you. But if you've got a family with you, you're going to be in the stadium all day. Kids get hungry. Kids get thirsty. It's hot. You want something to drink. You're going to be there all day. You've got the no pass out rule now, so you can't just at halftime go hit your tailgate and then come back. That's not an option for you anymore. So you're inside the stadium. You have to take advantage of every opportunity you can. And at the same time, the university's got to make sure that the concessions are, in my opinion, they're family friendly, but the university also needs to not operate at a loss or at cost. I don't think you can have successful concessions if you're operating at a loss or cost. You got to have a little markup. But what's the proper price point for the markup? And again, these are all things that, if you're asking me, I go to the movie theater and I feel like that I have to sign away, property rights sometimes. You go to the movie theater much anymore? I mean, I know we're deviating a little bit, but for the price of concessions, I could buy a deluxe copy of the movie when it comes to home video. I could buy the Steelbook gold-leafed edition of the movie with the cost of concessions and magnify that or multiply that, and it gets pricey. If you get the large, depending on where you go, you get the large, like, hey, look, okay, we get a free refill of popcorn and we get a free refill on the beverage. And you darn right I'm getting that. At that price, absolutely. Yes, I'll take my free refill, and I need a new bag of popcorn to go home with. We're having popcorn for the rest of the weekend at my house. So that's a good question. I appreciate that. Thank you for that. We're going to get another break in, and we're going to continue. Let's keep those questions going. That's some good stuff that we can talk about tomorrow. And that's 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. More on this edition of Your Drive coming up. ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Hometown Chevrolet, your home of the new 30-mile-per-gallon Chevy Trax and the new 3-row SUVs like the Traverse, Tahoe, and Suburban. Everything you need right here at home. Want a new truck? We have 0% financing for a full 5 years on new 2026 Chevy Silverado 1500s and free oil changes for life at your hometown Chevy dealer. Our used inventory is priced to move with the quality you want at a payment that makes sense. From low APRs to rebuilding, we'll get you done. Hometown Chevrolet, Waverly, Ohio, where everybody drives home. The Summer Fun Passport is here. Sign up now for this free passport and earn prizes all summer long. Head to the station's website or Facebook page. Click the Summer Fun Passport link and register. That enters you to win a 3-night trip to Myrtle Beach. Amp up the fun by visiting our participating local businesses. Check in on the Summer Fun Passport and you'll earn points to win more prizes. Check in with these businesses when you arrive. Two Cousins Grill and Bar, Austin's Ice Cream, Alchemy Aesthetics, Barbersville Park, Drifters Bar and Grill, Vineyard in the Village, Classic Liquors Huntington and Canova, Go-Mart, Jerk Riley's Billiards and Irish Pub, Barbersville's Farmers Market, and the Barbersville 4th of July Fireworks. The Summer Fun Passport's brought to you by Tailgaters Carryout, Coons Corner Sip and Shop, and Kindred Communications. Get on this station's website, sign up for your free passport, and win all summer long with a Summer Fun Passport.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. Did you know the IRS has programs specifically designed to help people struggling with tax debt? Powerful tax assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution firm, A-rated by the Better Business Bureau. Their award-winning tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $3 billion of tax debt for their clients. One call to Optima can start the process, helping to put an end to your worries about wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other aggressive IRS actions. Find the best options to solve your tax problems. Call the experts at Optima Tax Relief today for a free consultation.
Call 800-970-3199. That's 800-970-3199. 800-970-3199.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Dad! Come on! Over here! Look at this, Dad! Over... Whoa.
The moment my son saw a redwood tree
It's huge!
is the moment I knew that for him,
You can't even see the top of that thing!
even the sky has no limit.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org. Learn about forests near you and discover cool things to do when you go, like hiking, biking, fishing, or camping. Or do your own thing when you get there with family and friends. Your moment is out there. Find it at discovertheforest.org. That's discovertheforest.org.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Peekaboo, peekaboo, smile.
Smile, buddy.
Come on, smile. Oh, honey, he's still not smiling.
Maybe he's not a smiler.
Yeah, maybe he's just not a happy baby.
Maybe he's just being a boy. You know how boys are.
Or maybe he's teething. Oh, poor baby. I think his gums hurt.
Maybe he's just tired.
Or maybe his tummy hurts. He didn't eat that much.
Maybe he's not ticklish.
You think maybe he's scared of the dog?
Maybe he'll outgrow it. Maybe it's a phase. Maybe he just doesn't like smiling.
Maybe he has autism, and we can definitely do something to help.
Maybe is all you need to find out more about autism. No big, joyful smiles by 6 months is one early sign. Learn the others at autismspeaks.org/signs or see a doctor today for an autism screening. The sooner it's diagnosed, the better. And it can make a lifetime of difference. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
This is The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Follow at Paul Swann on X for Marshall sports updates and more.
We continue on with this edition of Your Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Some interesting things coming down the line we're going to talk more about tomorrow, but the Division I cabinet has unanimously approved the proposed age-based eligibility model that will start an athlete's eligibility clock upon initial enrollment or at the start of the academic year. And that is, get this, if you're not familiar with it, it's either at the start of the academic year or after an individual's 19th birthday, whichever occurs earlier. So if you turn 19 before the academic year begins, that's when your clock begins. If you turn 19 but you've began your academic year first, then that's when the clock begins. So if you enroll at the start of an academic year, so you could be 18, enroll, and then you're good. Or if you're 19 and you turn 19 after the enrollment period begins, and you haven't enrolled yet, so your clock begins at 19. That's not going to be a final decision until meetings conclude tomorrow. I'm interested to see what happens next. That's the big thing for me. Is it fair? That might be the argument. Like, look, you're basically limiting when I can go in. What if I want to take a year off before I get in? You're saying because I've taken that year off that I'm going to forfeit a year eligibility? Maybe I want to start when I'm 19 or 20, and that's after the academic year previously. I'm curious to see how this affects so many student athletes, and will there be challenges to this? And of course, it comes down to, will the NCAA eventually have the ability to enforce its own rules? I mean, if you're in the state of West Virginia, the SSAC has been pretty much given the ability to, look, we're going to lay these rules down, and this is how it works in the state. State lawmakers basically said, look, they're going to follow their own rules here. We have affirmed that. I mean, lawmakers, judges, everybody has basically given the SSAC the ability to enforce its own rules. And the NCAA doesn't seem to have that luxury. The NCAA sets rules, it gets challenged, rules get thrown out, rinse and repeat. And so the Save College Sports Act, how much is that going to help in this regard for the NCAA setting its policy, setting its rules, giving the NCAA the ability to set the standard? Here's what the standard is. Everybody knows what the standard is now. And so if you know what the standard is, you know what the expectations are, eventually this should equal out. Now, the problem here is you're always going to have somebody that's going to challenge. It's not going to be a slam dunk that, okay, everybody's going to follow the rules here, and we're going to completely be okay with this. Instead, I give you Brendan Sorsby. Brendan Sorsby is not going to go into the NFL anytime soon. The NFL came out earlier and is declining to hold a supplemental draft this summer. So if you want to get into the NFL, or you want to be drafted into the NFL, the only way for quarterback Brendan Sorsby to become an NFL player is to be drafted through the 2027 draft or free agency after the draft. That letter has been sent to every team, including Sorsby, and earlier today, Ian Rappaport, among others, I'm referencing him, put out the letter, and it reads, "Dear Mr. Sorsby, we are in receipt of your petition for special eligibility dated June 16, 2026. As announced earlier today, the league has elected not to conduct a supplemental draft this year. Under our collective bargaining agreement, the league retains sole discretion to determine whether it is appropriate to conduct a supplemental draft in any given year. The league has not conducted such a draft for several years, and prior to your submission, the league had no plans to do so this year, as no other player has sought entry. Your petition filed 3 business days before the deadline without any supporting information or documentation, and only after abandoning your recent litigation efforts to avoid NCAA sanctions, does not provide a basis for the league to alter those plans. The issue presented by your petition are too significant and too closely tied to the league's core integrity interests to permit meaningful review within the timeline presented." The letter continues, "The sole reason identified in your petition for seeking entry into the supplemental draft are that you have been declared eligible by the NCAA, have, quote, exhausted all of your avenues to continue in the NCAA, and want to now play in the NFL. The petition provides no information regarding the basis for or timing of the NCAA's decision. Public sources, however, indicate that in May 2026, the NCAA issued a determination declaring you permanently ineligible from participating in college athletics based on a sustained pattern of improper gambling activity during your collegiate career at 3 different universities." I'll pause right there. That's a key word right there. Improper gambling activities. Improper being the key word there. Because this is the league, after all, that promotes every different bet app you can get. So the letter continues as follows. The league does not have the complete record of the NCAA's investigation, and you did not provide any such materials with your petition. Available information nonetheless indicates that over the course of your collegiate career, you knowingly engaged in repeated and significant violations of NCAA rules designed to preserve the integrity of athletic competition. Reported conduct includes placing wagers on your own team and teammates, and to avoid detection, establishing or funding accounts in the names of intermediaries who place bets on your behalf. There are also reports that you may have violated state criminal law. Your petition does not address these matters, nor does it demonstrate accountability for your conduct or indicate whether or how you would adhere to the league's rules and policies governing the integrity of competition. Instead, even after receiving notice of the NCAA's decision rescinding your college eligibility in May, you sought to avoid the consequences of that determination through litigation rather than accepting responsibility for your actions, and you pursued entry into the NFL only after abandoning those efforts. Now, here's the final line of this, or the final paragraph. As Commissioner Goodell has emphasized, participation in the NFL is a privilege that carries with it significant responsibilities, including accountability. By all accounts, you are a talented player with the potential for future success. We encourage you to focus on preparing for possible entry into the NFL through the 2027 NFL Annual Draft. So that was a letter sent to him. So the letter has been sent, and now he can't be signed as a free agent. He can go elsewhere. Canadian League? Sure, but not the National Football League. Can't do that. There's no way he's getting into the NFL. Not through this supplemental. And then what comes out after? Oh, the Player Association now has to get involved because this is against the Player Association's collective bargaining. I hate to say this, but the NFL basically said, look, not today, but we welcome you in 2027 attempting to get in the NFL. That seemed like a bridge to me, a long bridge, that you have a year to rehabilitate your image. You also have a year to prove that, you know what, maybe I was wrong. Maybe I did things the wrong way. Let's try to make it right. Let's try to go out there and show that I can be a good citizen in the NFL. But as it stands now, he's not getting in the NFL, but I'm sure the Canadian Football League would be happy to have him. 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. This is The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Save big money on everything you need at Menards. Your roof is the first line of defense against the elements, and it enhances the appearance of your home's exterior. Owens Corning Duration Shingles offer ultimate protection. Choose from 26 stylish colors and transform your home today. Shop our selection of roofing products on Menards.com. Plus, check out our weekly flyer for all the great deals happening now.
Save big money at Menards.
Summer starts here. It's Moses Auto Mall of Huntington 9th Street Live every Friday night in Huntington. Presented by Michelob Ultra, White Claw, Big Timber, and Country Boy Brewing. Friday, June 26th, it's K&B Pest Control Night with Riley Babst on the Marshall OBGYN stage. The Little Caesars Kids Zone is back, and Gomart Happy Hour starts at 5. Enjoy 9th Street libations from the Marshall Hall of Fame Cafe, Sip Downtown Brasserie, and Summit Beer Station, featuring Tito's, Milagro Tequila, Rebel Bourbon, High Noon, and Lucky One. The after-show party takes place at Jerk Riley's at Pullman Square. July 10th, enjoy the music of the Beatles with the Newbies. The Thundering Herd Rally is Friday, August 14th. Sponsored by Wendy's, Huntington Beverage Center, Sods, Apex Tech, The Great Outdoors Marine, Village Caregiving, Thoroughbred Express Wash, the City of Huntington, Marshall University, Blinko Glass Company, Marshall Health Network Arena, and Kendrick Communications.
For adults with Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms, every choice matters. Tremfya offers self-injection or intravenous infusion from the start. Tremfya is administered as injections under the skin or infusions through a vein every 4 weeks, followed by injections under the skin every 4 or 8 weeks. If your doctor decides that you can self-inject Tremfya, proper training is required. Tremfya is a prescription medicine used to treat adults with moderately to severely active Crohn's disease and adults with moderately to severely active ulcerative colitis. Serious allergic reactions, increased risk of infections or lower ability to fight them, and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or need a vaccine. Explore what's possible. Ask your doctor about Tremfya today. Call 1-800-526-7736 to learn more or visit tremfyaradio.com.
This summer, celebrate America's 250th anniversary across Cabell County. Beginning June 15th, pop into the Marshall Visual Arts Center for Legend Has It, a look at textile arts throughout time. July 2nd and 3rd, experience 1776, featuring the Huntington Symphony Orchestra and special guests Michael and Todd Cerverus at the Keith Albee Theater, plus Dog Dazzle with Kathy Mattea and fireworks at Harris Riverfront Park on July 3rd. This celebration is made possible by our sponsors, the Huntington Foundation and Arthur and Joan Weisberg Family Foundation, Burke and Herbert Bank, Marshall Health Network, Cabell County Commission, the Herald Dispatch, Truist Foundation, Village of Barbersville, Little Caesars, Neighborgall Construction, Greater Huntington CVB, Service Wire, J.H. Fletcher & Company, Dutch Miller Auto Group, Silling Architects, Permco, Huntington Drum and Container, Jim's Steak and Spaghetti House, WSAZ, and Kindred Communications. See the full schedule now at cabellcounty.org/America250.
My name is Ruth Rusi. I'm a retired teacher. I'm 91 years old, and this is how I live united. I say retired, but not really. Once a week, I read books to children as part of United Way's education program. Reading to a child creates links between language and literacy. It creates a bond between grown-up and child. And believe it or not, it prepares them for a better academic future. Oh, we read about frogs and flies and pigs with wings, all sorts of juicy stuff. It's a joy to watch all those little faces. I figure I have the time and they have the need. And I've always believed that if we're not here to help each other, then what are we here for really? My name is Ruth Rusi. I help kids prepare to succeed in school. So I don't just wear the shirt, I live it.
Give, advocate, volunteer, Live United. Go to liveunited.org. Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
This is The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Miss an episode? Catch it anytime on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
We continue on with your Tuesday edition of The Drive here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. I'm your host, Paul Swann, with our text line brought to you by Clark's Pump and Shop at 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Baseball action yesterday. The Brewers got the better of the Reds 2-1. Game 2 of that series coming up tonight, 7-10. And the Queen City White Sox got the better of the Guardians, 6-5. Game 2 coming up tonight at 7:40 in Chicago. Pirates had Monday off. They're going to begin a home series with Seattle tonight. Go on the air at 6:15 right here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. College World Series final in Omaha last night. Oklahoma took North Carolina to the shed, 13-2. That was anticlimactic, wasn't it? You win some, you lose some. And North Carolina's case, the almost won it, but not quite applies again here. We got the NBA draft coming up tonight and Wednesday. If you're into the draft there, of course, why wouldn't you be? It's a great time to be an NBA fan. And, of course, a World Cup still going on. I didn't watch any today. I was doing other things, unfortunately. So I didn't get a chance to partake in the World Cup. But there's been some interesting matches so far. Of course, we're going to have the USA coming back soon. And again, they don't have to win, but it would be nice if they could. Because the United States won its group, can sit back, rest everybody, don't acquire yellow cards. See, that's the whole thing about this here. You know, you're in a basketball game, you get 5 fouls, you foul out, and then you next game you reset. It's over. The last game is done. We got the new game now. Everybody comes back, and it's 0-0 on the foul count. But no, not in soccer. You get a yellow card. That carries over. And so you can't get another one, or you might be out. And so the United States, I guarantee you, if you have a yellow, or you could potentially get a yellow or a red, you're sitting. I know you want to win, but you're sitting because you're in the group stage and you're needed for the knockout round. Nonetheless, it's been an interesting World Cup so far. So I will give the United States credit. It has done a tremendous job, from my understanding, of hosting the World Cup. I really didn't think that I didn't think it would be pulled off. The stadiums have been pretty full. The fans have been pretty happy. The venues have been amazing. Of course, we're talking professional venues. Can you imagine what the World Cup would have looked like at a college stadium? Ohio Stadium. Could you imagine what the World Cup would have looked like there? All that tailgating going on? And I think that's the key for me. You can embrace soccer, but make it your own. Keep the Americana going here. Do the tailgates. Do the SEC, ACC, Big 12, Big 10 tailgates. Do all of that. Have the atmospheres be like that. Hey, what if it could be possible? What if the United States men's national team could come out to Enter Sandman? Would you be down with that? See, it's not going to happen. They're not going to do it that way. But wouldn't it be something if you could come out to Enter Sandman, or if the fans would just start singing Enter Sandman? Maybe you could do that instead, since you can't actually just play the theme. You can't come out to it like that. That's the one thing I love about college football is you welcome the visitors, and then the home team comes out. And really, you're not welcoming them. They're just coming out on the field, depending on where you're at. And then the home team comes out, and you have crazy pyros, you have fireworks, you have the hype videos all over the place, getting the fans jacked up. Instead, it's just a nonstop party for the soccer fans because they're singing and having fun for, 90 minutes plus. It's a little different, but that's okay. And we're done. Thank you for being a part of today's show here on ESPN 94.1 at AM 930. Ryan Crisp joins us tomorrow from Herd Hospitality. We're going to talk a little bit about what you can expect from the new offering from Marshall The Porch, what the options are going to be, what do you get for this, if they're going to be revised renderings of this space to come out soon, give you a little bit more of an actual idea of what it looks like, logistics, everything you possibly need to know. We're going to ask Ryan it, and of course, he's going to direct us to the right place. It might mean you have to call him and say, hey, look, okay, I'm in. I want to buy my spot. All right, here's what you need to know. We'll do all that tomorrow. Until then, have a great night.
WRBC Huntington, W227BS Huntington, your flagship home of the Marshall Thundering Herd and The Drive with Paul Swann, ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.